what's the message here? Because anger shows up when there's been a violation, right? Something happened and it shouldn't have, or it didn't happen and it should have. That's worth listening to.
Welcome to Theratay. I'm Ashley with my co-host Katie, and we're going to be talking about the Happiness song on the Evermore album. And we are not therapy, but we are super fun, and we're ready to dive in. So, Katie, do you want to tell us why you chose this song?
Yes, Happiness is maybe one of my, it's in the list of my favorites of Taylor's music across all of her albums. But I think this song exemplifies really well the principles of DBT therapy, or to say that out loud, it's dialectical behavioral therapy. And essentially, um, the premise of that theory is that life is complex and health is not like a static thing, but an ongoing process. So growing and healing is more aimed at balancing opposing forces and investigating the truth of powerful negative emotions, according to Psychology Today. But essentially, how I like to describe it to my clients is DBT is when you hold two opposing truths at the same time. So it's learning how to hold tension. And I think the song Happiness exemplifies holding tension of sadness and happiness and loss and hope. And it just brings all of these into a beautiful tension. And I think that for anybody who's experienced powerful conflicting emotions about a situation, whether someone that you love has hurt you or whether you have been the person that you have hurt someone you loved, I think everybody can relate to a situation where you're just in a complex place. And I think the song is for you. And I think it's really hopeful. So I would love to share some of the lyrics of the song that I'll be covering today, which are a lot of them. So, and they're not in order. So hang on here. Honey, when I'm above the trees, I see this for what it is, but now I'm right down in it. There will be happiness after you, but there was happiness because of you. Both of these things can be true. There is happiness. I hope she'll be your beautiful fool who takes my spot next to you. No, I didn't mean that. Sorry, I can't see facts through all of my fury. You haven't met the new me yet. There will be happiness after me, but there was happiness because of me. Both of these things, I believe, there is happiness. I can't make it go away by making you a villain. No one teaches you what to do when a good man hurts you, and you know you've hurt him too. After giving you the best I had, tell me what to give after that. All you want from me now is the green light of forgiveness. You haven't met the new me yet, and I think she'll give you that.
Such beautiful lyrics. Thanks for sharing that.
Mhm.
So, I would love to hear what questions you would be asking this person.
Yeah, I would repeat back the lyrics. I haven't met the new me yet. So I'd ask, what parts of yourself are you unacquainted with? Are these new parts that you're referencing? Or are they parts that you've left behind or parts that you've buried? And so when I refer to parts, I'm talking about a an aspect of yourself that you might be unfamiliar with, or an aspect of yourself that you're uncomfortable with, or we have dual relationships with ourself, right? So there might be a soft side of yourself, a vulnerable part that you don't allow to be seen or you don't go there. Maybe there's anger that you don't allow yourself to feel. Maybe there's sadness that you ignore. It could be jealousy, it could be sexual, it could be spiritual. Like there's a lot of different parts that we have. And so when you reference the new part and you talk about yet, it sounds like you're already aware that there's a part out there that you need to develop more of a relationship with. And so I want to explore that with this client.
Yeah, yeah. Such a good question. What would you be validating for this person?
I would 100% be agreeing with them that we can experience two conflicting emotions at the same time, and that those do not have to minimize or cancel each other out. And oftentimes, I've experienced this in my own life, or as a therapist, I walk with clients all the time through this idea of like well, I can't be, mad at that person and love them. And it's like, oh, you absolutely can. And you don't have to stop loving them just because you're angry with them. Or you don't have to give up on yourself. Like you can be a good person and do bad things, and these can both be true. And so I really, especially when you're dealing with like loved ones who have hurt you, this is a really important principle to hold, that you can tell the truth about somebody without, and it doesn't have to be tearing them down. So specifically in the song, there will be happiness after me, but there was happiness because of me. Both of these things, I believe there's happiness. So it's a sign of your growth that you can hold two conflicting parts at the same time. And I hear a lot of emotional maturity in that sentence. And I would really want to validate that and affirm that for that client.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that you're bringing up that principle of like both and, right? Like it is hard and there can be really sweet moments, or this can be relieving and you can be grieving. That's
Yeah.
such a good point.
And I might build off of that to add to that sometimes the most painful part of grief is the happiness and the joy,
Mm.
right? Like the hardest part of a relationship to leave is not the bad parts, it's the good parts. And so this client is really walking through the mourning the good parts of this relationship, which again, I think are the hardest things to do. But it's also, I think, the thing that gives you the most closure is when you can like close the door and like those were good times and they're done.
Hmm.
And that's okay. But that
Hmm.
can be a hard thing to do because I think sometimes when we want to leave something behind, we just want to talk about or focus on the hard, but that's not the complete story for the
Yeah.
situation, for the other person, or for yourself. And for this client, I hear that they're holding that space for every aspect, who they were as a couple, because that's kind of how I interpret the song, is like it's about another person, a relationship for themselves and then for the other person.
Hmm. Yeah, and I'm so glad you brought that up too, because I think that makes a lot of sense that we like interpret it that way, but I think part of the reason I love Taylor is because even if she is singing about a relationship, you can also like picture other things, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
if it's a time in your life, a season, a workplace, whatever it might be, the same words can mostly be true in non-romantic ways as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anything you would challenge on this song?
Yeah. So there's the lyrics that I read that said, no, I didn't mean that. Sorry, I can't see facts through all my fury. And I love if you listen to the song, and I would encourage our listeners to do that. There, the way that it's sung is like one lyric very quickly is delivered after the other. So it just kind of mimics like an argument, like I hope she'll be a beautiful fool, takes your spot, my spot next to you. And it kind of is delivered in my interpretation as like angry words that fly out of your mouth when you're just in the heat of the moment and you want to hurt this person. And and then immediately like, no, I didn't mean that. Sorry. Like, and there's just like this instant regret of like, I'm blinded by my anger and I'm aware of that. So I would, first of all, before I challenge, just say, like, way to go, being aware of like that you said something really hurtful. And then I would also like encourage that person to pause and listen to their anger. Like, what is anger trying to say? What's the message here? Because anger shows up when there's been a violation, right? Something happened and it shouldn't have, or it didn't happen and it should have. That's worth listening to. So I would encourage this person to explore, like, what is your anger saying? What do you need to apologize for? Are there other places where your anger or the intensity of your feelings have kind of put blinders on your eyes and only allowed you to see certain parts of this, but there's more to that story? Or where did you speak out of turn, maybe? Or maybe where did you stay silent? Like in this song, it seems to present like saying something that you regret, but I think the opposite can happen where you don't speak up and you should have. And I would just encourage this person to use that information to gain perspective. And then if the situation allows, like make that right where you can. And I also want to explore forgiveness because there's a line that says, after giving you the best I had, tell me what to give after that. And I could just pause there because, like, whoa, what an emotional gut punch.
Yeah.
All you want from me now is the green light of forgiveness. Wow, let's get into it. This is highlighting that someone wants you to forgive them, but in my interpretation, it seems to be a way that implies permission. Like, I'm going to go do this thing and I want you to sanction it. I want you to agree with me. I want you to give me a green light, right? And I think that that's kind of a byproduct of what forgiveness is, but maybe isn't the main point, which I think the client or the song is pointing that out. Like, you're wanting me to green light something, you're just wanting me to give you access or permission for something.
Mm-hmm.
And forgiveness is so much deeper than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't, you don't, it kind of cheapens what that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that forgiveness is a powerful way to release someone's power over you. Like I've heard it said before that forgiveness is framed as like somebody's done something to you and like they have their hooks into you. And then when you forgive them, you've taken their hooks out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you've empowered yourself to release yourself from their like influence over your life. And so I think that I would want to challenge this client to say, like, even if this person is just wanting you to like give them a green light, even if they're using forgiveness as a permission to do what they were maybe going to do anyway, could it hold deeper significance for you? Their motivation doesn't have to be your motivation here. And to really grapple with that. And forgiveness is highly complex and I'm just barely scratching the surface of it. But I would want to really challenge the emotions and somebody's intention versus what you can do to respond to that intention, whether or not you agree with it or appreciate it or whatever. You still have your own choice there, which is
Mm-hmm.
another beautiful principle of DBT or dialectical behavioral therapy.
Yeah, I'm so glad you dove into that because it is such an important piece of the work that we do. And you brought up how nuanced it can be too. And I think the song does as well, right? Like I I hear this person saying like I want to move forward. I want to be past this. And the fact that you're looking for this from me is really hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because they're, and this could be a genuine thing. Like maybe this person's like, please release me. Or maybe this person's like, I was going to do this anyway, but I just want you to sign off on it.
Right.
I
Right.
don't want to feel guilty about this anymore. Kind of sign off on my guilt. Like, make me not feel it anymore. Don't hold me accountable.
Exactly.
And so, like, this is where, again, like, if somebody's looking for that forgiveness, which is, and I put that in air quotes to kind of be like, make me not feel bad about this,
Right.
it could be deeper for you, right? This could be a chance for you to take the quote unquote hooks out of yourself to release yourself from the situation or the relationship or whatever.
Yeah, you're almost hearing like the manipulation aspect that can be present sometimes when
Yes.
somebody's asking for that.
Yes, it feels like that could be present. And there are many interpretations of the song. That's just one of them, but I think it's one that maybe happens more than we want to admit.
Yeah. 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 Anything else you wanted to challenge?
Those are kind of the top two that came to my mind.
Okay. Yeah. What would you recommend?
So I'll reference again some lyrics. Honey, when I'm above the trees, I see this for what it is, but now I'm right down in it. I really love the cleverness of this lyric because I think it's highlighting the process of moving between your mental perspective and your feeling. And as somebody who ascribes to like somatic work, we can mentalize, we can think our way through something, but then like where change happens and where emotions are felt is like in the body, right below the neck. And so I think that this client song is talking about like I have the mental perspective, but like emotionally, I'm not there. Which again, beautiful principle of like, it is okay for your mind to be ahead of maybe where your emotions or your body is. This is normal. And so we call that like the thinking brain or the feeling brain. And so I would say that I would really recommend allow yourself to be in the flow. There will be times where you'll be in your feelings really deeply, and there will be times when you're in your head and then those will flip flop and you'll go back and forth. And It's not a linear journey of like, oh, I thought through this and now I feel better. And it's not a, oh, I felt through this and now I think better. Like you will go back and forth. And so I would really recommend to allow yourself to continue that process. Um, and then I'll add, I know, some more lyrics that I thought really highlighted this. I can't make it go away by making you a villain. I guess it's the price I paid for 7 years in heaven. And I pulled your body into mine every goddamn night. Now I get fake niceties. No one teaches you what to do when a good man hurts you, and you know you hurt him too. And again, this recommendation is to stay in that place where you don't villainize somebody.
Hmm.
I think we love a simple narrative as people. We want
Hmm.
to just other uh, whatever that is, a person, a side, an ideology. And this song, this client is saying, I'm not going to do that. I can't make the complexity of this relationship going away by telling a simple story about who you are and what we had together.
Hmm.
And then she's like, revisiting, like, I pulled your body into mine all of these nights. And then she's swearing, right? It's just like this, like, I'm cursing all of these nights that I pulled you in. And now I'm getting something fake. Like, it's just like the poignancy of that. And even the cursing, I think, just like underscores like the intensity of that.
Hmm.
And then just saying, like, I feel helpless. Like, no one has taught me what to do when I know you're a good person and you've hurt me. And I know I'm a good person and I've hurt you. And so I would just encourage that person to stay in the tension of that. Allow yourself to feel it. Don't allow the tension to go away. Like this is where growth happens. Um,
Hmm.
and so again, I would probably, if we were doing long-term therapy, we talk a lot about like how to manage that in your body. And for the sake of the podcast, I won't get into that. But I think those are the principles I would draw on.
Yeah, 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 that's really beautiful. Something that I've heard a lot of therapists say is like it's a classic therapist phrase of like lean into it, right?
Mhm.
Like lean into the tension, lean into the feelings.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what you're saying, like lean into the uncomfortable feelings of this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because what I have
Um,
found, oh, sorry.
oh, you go ahead.
What I have found is that one of the signs of emotional maturity and emotional intelligence, as I understand it, is the ability to put this into practice. Because if you cannot hold complexity for another person, the good and their bad, then you're probably having a really hard time doing that for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you might be putting yourself in a category as either I'm good, I don't do that, or I'm bad, which is shame, right? And so learning to hold both of these complexities is going to allow you to have a deeper relationship with yourself and with others. So it's very foundational to having successful relationships, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What would you encourage this person?
To hold hope as you quote unquote leave it all behind. And I notice in the song that Taylor writes, leave it all behind from the dress I wore at midnight, signaling that you're ending something at the darkest part of the night
Hmm.
as you head into the morning. And she talks about a glorious sunrise. And so I love that she's talking about a dress that you wore at midnight and a glorious sunrise of like this dark end of something, an end of a day is also like the beginning of a new sunrise. And so I would encourage you to hold on to that hope as you process your grief. And again, you don't have to abandon one to hold the other. So that's what I would encourage. Mostly just
Hmm.
keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right track, and it sucks and it's painful, and it will yield something really beautiful in your life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. Anything else you want to say to this song?
I love you, happiness. You're one of my favorites. You're a real one. Ashley, I am very eager to dive into your insights onto the song. So, would you like to share your lyrics? And then I'd love to hear what questions you would ask.
Yeah, yeah. So lyrics are very similar. I can't see facts through all my fury. When I'm above the trees, I see this for what it is. I was dancing when the music stopped. There was happiness because of you, and there will be happiness after you. And I think I swapped those two.
All good. I am eager to hear your insights on these lyrics. What questions would you ask this song as a client?
I would ask, like, what's feeling different about being above the trees? I kind of picture like when we're not focusing on the details, like the 30,000 foot above version of the story. And I think this relates to something that I hear a lot of like when I'm not talking about it, I don't feel the feelings, right? Like when I'm not thinking about it, I'm fine. And I experience this too, right? Like there are certain topics in my life too where it's like, okay, as long as I'm not, thinking about this thing, then I don't really feel those feelings. But once I get going, I realize, oh, there is still a lot there. I still
Yeah.
do feel that.
Yes, that disconnect, right? And you can feel like, oh, it doesn't bother me anymore until you revisit it. And then you're like, I still have feelings.
That was still wrong.
Yeah.
Um, so I would want to ask, what's feeling different about that? What do you want the new you to be?
Mm,
Um,
so good.
where do you see, yeah, that future you being? And then this seems like a very sudden change. Like I notice in the song, it seems like this is not expected. So what do you want to do to like process it? Like, are you trying to stay in the trees? Are you trying to stay like above the, like how are we kind
Mhm.
of processing that? And I think that imagery that you kind of brought up too of like the thinking brain versus like the feeling, right? Like
Yeah.
when we're it seems like this song is addressing like when I'm right down in it, I am like in the midst of feeling it. Like I'm looking at all the details, I'm thinking about it, I'm like processing it. But I have to imagine, like you said, that it's like easy to kind of yo-yo like above and in.
Yeah. Yes.
So how do we want to like continue processing?
Can I jump in with a question here?
Yeah.
So, like, what maybe would be like one strategy that you might like encourage a client to maybe practice? Let's say if you're noticing in session that they're like in their head, or maybe they're opposite, they're just like so in the feelings that they're kind of maybe losing perspective. Like in either direction, what might be something you might recommend? And you can kind of pick the scenario. I'm kind of springing this on you, but I'm very curious what you would encourage people to do.
Yeah, so let's see. I think like when you were kind of describing that, I was picturing like if somebody's telling me a really sad story, but like maybe they're smiling as they're telling me, I would have them kind of match their face to their emotions. That's one of my favorite things to do in session.
Mhm.
Is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah, yeah, just kind of like helping somebody become aware of like, hey, I'm feeling stuck in my feelings, and maybe they don't even say that, but you just observe it, or maybe
Oh,
like,
sure.
wow, they're being very mental about something that's actually quite emotional.
Yeah. Yeah. So to use the imagery that is in this song, I would say, why don't we walk all the way through the woods? Like, why don't we, as slowly as we need to, right? We can observe, we can sit, if we need to build a fire, we can do that. But like, how can we continue moving forward and through it instead of feeling like, okay, I've looked at it this long, I have to go back up.
Mhm. Those are really great insights. Thank you for sharing that, Ashley. Were there anything more that you wanted to kind of add about, questions you'd ask, or are you going to move on to normalization and what you would validate?
Yeah, let's do some validation. So I think a big thing that I want to say is it's hard to come to terms with sudden change. And, we experience this a lot in life. As Taylor likes to say, life is emotionally abusive. So there's plenty of surprises to go around, and it's not easy to just bounce back. So, it it is like definitely understandable and like I can see where this person is kind of like see, so you kind of view this song in a different way. And I love kind of how you shared because I think there is some benefit to like holding like the tension and seeing like, okay, this person hurt me, I hurt them, like, I'm kind of like right in the middle of this process and like very healthy in that way. But
Hmm.
then I also hear this like there's still some like sassiness, you know? And I'm not saying that that's bad or like unhealthy, but yeah, I also want to validate that like there's this lyric I can't see facts through all of my fury. Like there's this piece of this song where it's like okay, like sometimes I'm so angry that I can't even like process this, right? So I also want to normalize that piece of
Yeah.
like it makes so much sense that this is so infuriating
Hmm.
and it makes sense that this is hard to piece together. Like this, it feels like even in the song, we're like going up and down, like trying to figure out how to even piece life together. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
it does. It
Yeah.
definitely does. And I just wanted to add to like what you were saying too, that like from a biological perspective, like when you are so intensely in an emotion, your thinking brain actually does go offline.
Yeah.
So to say that you're not thinking clearly and you can't see facts is biologically accurate from
Right.
a nervous system perspective. But yes, I would agree with that sassiness that you alluded to. And would it be a Taylor song if there wasn't sass?
No, no, it wouldn't. And I love the sass part, and I'm not saying that that's like bad, but I just it's just an interesting piece of it, right? Like there's I don't know, sometimes there can be like this thought of like, of course this would happen to me, or like,
Yeah.
just kind of in other people's stories, I hear that sometimes. And so
Hmm.
yeah, anyway, I think it's very common for us to like focus on like the negative or like focus on like the hard or,
Hmm.
only the things that are going wrong as well. And I'm not even really talking about this song anymore. Just kind of talking, but like and that's fair to a certain extent, right? Like it's good to acknowledge that stuff. We would be unhealthy if we didn't. But I think what I really like about this song in particular is it like takes accountability for the things that this person has done wrong, and then also acknowledges the fact that wrong has been done to them. And I think that's like a really healthy thing to do.
Yes, it's really holding on to both. That like there's actually no innocent party here, right? Which I think is often the case that relationships, even one where maybe somebody might share, if you wanted to quantify it, maybe more of that. Um, that doesn't mean you were 100% perfect in
Right.
it, right? And so something that is like a mantra for myself and for my clients is that like own what's yours and leave the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
we're here to collect everything that is yours, but you do not need to take any more or any less than
Yeah.
what is yours. And so I
Yeah.
feel like this song does that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Totally agree.
Excellent. Anything that you would challenge about this song?
Yes. Don't feel rushed to process as quickly as the change happens. So obviously, like a very quick change, you take as long as you need to walk through the woods.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that is so good. Because like I was dancing when the music stopped, right? The imagery of this song is that I didn't see this coming.
Yep.
I was still going.
Yeah. Yeah. And how many of us can relate to that, right? That like you are totally on point with like the I can't think of the right word. I'm so sorry. Like um you're going through your routine, you're used to life, things are going well, and then it's like, wait, something was happening behind the scenes, or
Yeah,
like how did the music stop? I wasn't
yeah.
anticipating that.
Yeah. And I think I love this point that you're making, Ashley, because there can be a perceived need to get on board and adjust to that. And sometimes we're in situations where you actually do have to move forward right away. Like you do have to get off the dance floor, metaphorically speaking, very quickly. But that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that like your emotions or your process have to move that quickly. Like you might need to, but that doesn't mean
Yes.
like your processing is going that fast. Just means
Exactly.
that you got through it.
Yeah. Yeah,
That is,
physically, you might have to take some action. You might have to behaviorally do something. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. But the
yeah.
emotions can take their time catching up.
Right.
Mhm.
Which I think I'll add here that, like, sometimes as therapists, what we often encounter in therapy is somebody who's like, I need to talk about something that happened years ago. Like, I moved through it, I survived it, but like now it's showing up for me and these areas and I need to address it. So very common. Also, it's surprising, even as somebody who like knows this, it can still kind of catch me off surprise, like, oh yeah, I still need to process that. Like,
Mhm.
so I love that you're highlighting the timeline there. That is just really insightful. Anything else that you would add?
No, that's the only thing I would challenge. I agree with you. I think this is a fairly well-adjusted song.
What recommendations would you provide?
Yeah. So I would just say feel your feelings, and don't feel pressure to stay above the trees either. Like it's okay to process and kind of observe and engage with that.
Yeah, that's so good. So good. Any encouragement you would offer to this client?
Yeah, and we kind of touched on it. Just good job taking accountability in the ways that you both contributed because relationships are such a two-way street, as much as we don't want to believe that, right? Like we want to believe like I will get out what I put in, or I did nothing wrong, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hence that line, like, I can't make this go away by making you a villain. Or
hmm
reverse, I can't necessarily make this go away by making myself the hero.
Right, right,
Like,
exactly.
this is messy.
It is. Yeah.
Good. Anything else that you'd like to add as we wrap up this song?
I don't think so. Thanks for doing this with me, Katie.
This was a pleasure and a joy. Thank you so much, Ashley. Thank you to our listeners for coming along. As always, thank you, Jeremy, for editing. And please come find us at Therataypodcast on Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and email us with any recommendations, therataypodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear any song suggestions you have for us. Bye.
Bye.